Hi guys, my name is Giovanni Marino, and thank you for taking the time to watch my interview with UFC Featherweight / Bantamweight Johnny Munoz. Just a little FYI before starting the video, we actually had some technical difficulties at the start, which is why the video starts a little bit shaky, but we get back on track. So without further ado, enjoy the video. Thank you.
1998. I was 5 years old in 1998. Started doing jiu-jitsu. My dad was what belt was he by then? He was kind of brown belt at the time. But he was trained under Joe Moreira, who's now 8th degree black belt. And my dad was teaching out of his garage. And I remember being a little kid, seeing him train, people coming in. I remember Tito Ortiz, Quentin Rampage Jackson, a lot of guys, old school guys would come in, do jiu-jitsu. And at the time, jiu-jitsu was still relatively new, especially in the United States. I mean, now, like, you go on Yelp, you can find a gym anywhere.
Yeah.
Now. Back then, it's like super rare to find a gym. So
I'm sorry, the connection's like breaking off a little bit. Hello, I'm sorry, the connection's breaking off a little bit. One second, I'm sorry.
And my dad, yeah. Okay, yeah. So is it good now?
One second, I'm just disconnecting off the Wi-Fi's over here.
Right.
See if it goes anything. Already, I'm sorry about that, my man.
You're all good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, somewhat. It's like breaking off a little bit, but we're in a better shape now.
Okay, I should be getting more stable right now. I'm just pulling up over here.
I gotcha.
But yeah, a lot of people were coming in training, and my dad wanted me to start doing jiu-jitsu. Mainly just twice a week to like learn how to defend myself, develop confidence, and all that stuff. And I didn't want to do it as a kid. Like, I remember like complaining, I don't want to do this, whatever. There was no negotiation, so I had to do it.
Yeah.
My dad didn't push me as far as like you got to compete, you got to do blah blah blah, like how most dads live to their kid. He just mainly did it as a forum so I could defend myself, And so I was like, damn, I can't get out of this now,
Yeah.
And so then, I knew I had to do it. So I stuck with it. And at the time, especially with jiu-jitsu at the time, how it was new back then. So especially with kids, like it was I was training with adults. So there was really no kids. And eventually, slowly, kids started coming up. And my dad was just teaching out of his garage. And so I was, man, I gotta do this. And eventually, I started getting pretty good at it, just doing it a little while. And around 9 years old, I remember watching Pride and UFC. I used to go with my dad when he'd go to his buddy's house to watch the fight. And I remember watching Pride fight, and then I was like, man, that looks pretty cool. I want to do that one day. And then I think around there, around 9, that's when it clicked. I like this stuff. I want to fight one day. And then now this is where I'm at, man. So I just stuck it out and started doing jiu-jitsu and doing jiu-jitsu competitions, IBJJF, SJJF, won world titles, Pan American championships. Got my black belt when I was, what was I? I think I was 21. 21 or 20. I was just about to turn 21.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, I got that. And then 2014 hit, and that's when I made my MMA debut with King of the Cage. And I remember the first time fighting, I was, oh shit, I'm actually doing this now.
Yeah.
I remember since I was a kid, I always wanted to do this, and now I'm doing it, and then, so it was cool. So yeah, bro, it's the whole experience. I always tell kids, you never give up on your dream or nothing, whatever it is. Even now, I'm in the UFC, on a piece of paper, my goals and stuff. And I just actually found it the other day, and it kind of gave me goosebumps because one of the goals on there was I'll be in the UFC in 2020. And I kind of forgot all about that, and I was like, oh shoot,
that's awesome too. It's it kind of goes into, like you said, it's kind of like you're manifesting your own destiny, right? So it's like it reminds me of
Exactly.
what was it that like I don't know if you follow football or anything like that, but like Colin Kaepernick, I remember they were running like a little like report on him that when he was like 9 years old, he like did the same thing, like wrote on a piece of paper saying,
Oh,
"Oh,
really?
NFL." Yeah, he was like, "I'm gonna be in the NFL one day." So like, for you to do the same thing and saying that you could be in the UFC by what you said 2020, and that's what happened. That's insane.
Yeah, bro. So I
Mm,
feel like when you have belief and all that, when you
mm,
work hard, I
mm,
feel things just start happening,
mm.
Uh,
And like, I mean, human nature. Like, did you like during that journey? Was there like any like time that you like felt down in yourself that you're like, oh man, I don't know if I'm a make it or anything like that? Because I mean, everyone's human. Like, you have your 1 or 2 days that like you're feeling down on yourself. So was that the same for you, or you were just kind of like dead set that you're like, oh, I'm gonna be in the UFC no matter what?
no, yeah, I knew I'd be there, but of course, along the way, there's you go through your battles, tough days where you almost have mental breakdowns where you're like, man, I don't know if I want to do this no more. Like you start
Mm-hmm.
questioning down yourself, but then you start to realize, hey, I made it this far, and like you just got to remember who you are as a person,
Mm-hmm.
and what you represent, and what are your belief systems, your core belief systems. And for me, that's why I never shied away from it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always room for improvements, no
Mm-hmm.
matter what. I feel like throughout your life, you're always gonna have battles, and you just got to overcome those battles. And I feel when you overcome those battles, you develop this sense of confidence where you're like, hey, I could take on anything, bring it on. Like it don't matter what it is.
No,
You know?
100%, 100%. And then, cause like I mean, like you mentioned before, you fought your first MMA fight in 2014 for the
Yeah.
promotion, the King of the Cage. So it was 2014. So like, how long did it take you to be the champion in bantamweight? I know you're a featherweight. You just had your first fight in the UFC as a featherweight, but
Hmm.
King of the Cage, you're a bantamweight. So like, how long did it take for you to be champion? I saw like your first 10 wins, like your first 6 were like submissions. So like, it must have been like a fast track to a title, right?
Well, actually, I fought for the title last year.
Mhm,
It should have been sooner, but there was a lot of uh, I think the couple guys that were champions were coming in and out. Like I was trying to get those fights, but it didn't happen.
mhm,
I don't know for whatever reason. I don't like to speak on other people's behalfs, but I feel like
mhm.
I want to fight for the title, but there's always something. So I feel there's like some, I don't know, like the fights wouldn't happen. So I was always getting pushed along.
Mhm,
And so finally, the title finally got vacated, and that's when I fought for it. And
mhm,
that was last year in June.
mhm,
And then I fought one more time for King of the Cage in September. And then my previous fight was in the UFC because COVID hit, so it slowed everything down a little bit. And yeah, now we're here. But yeah, King of the Cage it was a cool experience fighting there. Developing my fighting skills,
mhm,
creating a name for myself. And I appreciate them for giving me a good foundation, a good place to fight, steady fight.
mhm,
And they've always been good to me. So
mhm. And like you mentioned before, like I mean, you got your shot in the UFC during this whole pandemic. So like I know like most martial arts schools, like some of them are closed. Some
yeah,
jiu-jitsu schools are opening back up, but they're just using like dummies or just doing like little solo drills or anything like that. So like, how
yeah.
for you like getting ready for that UFC debut? Like, you have to just call up like a select few to train, or
Yeah, so I was training. Our gym was open.
mm,
When this all hit, it was kind of new for everybody.
mm,
So like we were shut down for a little bit, and then we just went back to normal after a while. Just as a business, people got to work, got to make money. So
mm.
it's just kind of hard to just shut down when you got bills coming in, and then you got to
Yeah,
keep the
definitely.
bills rolling. So it's just a tough situation for everybody. But I was able to train with people. In the beginning, I was just training with a select few,
Mm,
uh, and then now I'm just kind of like just training with everybody. I don't want this to go out the wrong way. You just gotta, you still take precautions, but like I
of
know what
course.
I'm getting myself into,
Mm,
training with other people. So God forbid nothing happens.
mm,
But if it happens, like I knew what I was getting myself into, and I
mm,
respect everybody's opinions on things. Everyone got different beliefs, opinions.
mm,
Uh, if I have friends or somebody, you know, they don't want me to come over, you know, it's fine. Like, I understand. But I don't really go anywhere. That's why I'm just training, because just out of respect for other people as well, you know.
Yeah,
So, but yeah, I was still training during the time.
Yeah, and then like when the debut happened, when like that, when it was fight night, I mean, just knowing that it's your first fight in the UFC, you know, what was your mindset? Were you just nervous, or it was kind of like one of those like, hey, I knew I was gonna be here, and it's just time for me to perform?
Yeah, so I always knew I was going to be there. For every fight, you get nervous. I don't care who you are. Everybody gets nervous. I mean, you're going in there fighting with another man, you know?
Yeah.
Or if you're a female, you're fighting with another woman. It's not like MMA is like a tough sport. Like, I remember after the weigh-ins, like, all the fighters would go in a room. Every fighter would grab a chair, and then Dana talked to us, Dana White, and he was just like, he pretty much like pumping the fighters up, like just telling us like, hey, you know, you guys are special individuals. You know, there's no fans out there. It's a little different, but there's going to be people all over the world watching the fight. So everybody's watching you. You guys are special individuals to be here. Only a select few people in the world get to this point and do this, perform at this level. And then he was saying, you know, I love football. He's a big Tom Brady fan.
Yeah.
He said, but he was saying that, you know, but you guys are completely different athletes, and it takes a special individual to get here. You guys are at the top of the level when it comes to athletes. You're in there fighting. It's a very complex sport. It's worldwide. He said, you go to other parts of the world, like, they don't know who Tom Brady is, but you go to other parts of the world, they know who Conor McGregor is, or whatever, Muhammad Ali. So it was like, oh man, it just like gave me goosebumps. It was cool to hear that from him. And you know, like, day of the fight, like, you know, you always get nervous, but like, I think once you're in the cage, it kind of just goes away. It's just more like, okay, this is what you're here to do. You're here to fight and then perform. And I'm used to fighting with people. There's people there, obviously, but it's not like, you know, people screaming. But like I said, once you're in there, you kind of forget about all that. You're zoned in to what's in front of you, the obstacle in front of you, and then the task at hand. So yeah, I mean, I feel good, man. I always knew I was going to be there. So.
And like you said, like you're like you mentioned, like, you're so used to like having a crowd there watching you fight. And like, I've heard a couple fighters like in an interview, and then like their interviews say that like it's so quiet that you can even hear the commentators. So like, did you hear the commentators as you were fighting, or?
Yeah, so it's funny people say that. I didn't hear the commentators at all. I don't know if I was just super zoned in, but I didn't hear the commentary. I heard the coaches, but I didn't hear the commentators at all. So I was, I don't know what people were talking about on that. I don't know. I don't know if, I don't know. It would have been cool to hear them, I guess.
Yeah. But like you said, I mean, you probably were just so zoned in that it was just like, yeah, no, I'm just going to listen to my coaches and go from there. And just talking about the fight, though, it's just like I mentioned earlier, like, I personally thought you won that fight. I personally thought you were controlling every aspect in that fight. Obviously, you had that cut in the second round, but like, you know, what was it that caused the cut? It was a headbutt, right? That you kind of went in for like against the cage, and then you guys just split heads, or was it like
I think the cut came. I remember being in that position, and I remember blood dripping down. I was like, man, is he bleeding? But then I realized, oh, it's coming out of me. But I remember, I think he hit an elbow, kind of the side right here. The cut looked bad the second round, but if you notice, the third round, it wasn't even dripping. It was just like a little here. I didn't need stitches or anything, so it wasn't too bad. Like, it even didn't get in my eye. Like, I didn't realize until I watched the fight later that there was blood all over the side of my face. But like, in there, I didn't realize it. But yeah, I mean, it was I guess it was cool to have a little blood, you know.
Yeah, no, it didn't look like it affected you. I mean, I think like right after is when you had like that big slam in the second round, and then
that was nice.
It was legitimate. Like, I was rewatching, and I was like, that really does remind me of like one of those like Daniel Cormier takedowns where he just picks him up on the top of his head and just throws him down.
That's what a lot of people were saying. Yeah, I looked at it and I was like, oh, yeah, I can see it now. Like, people on social media were saying that stuff. So yeah, that's a cool comparison, you know.
Yeah. And then, I mean, like I said, I mean, you lost the fight, but like, everyone thought you won. So like, what's your next move? So do you have like a fight, you know, lined up, or, you know, right now you're just kind of training, see how things go?
Yeah,
And
so I'm just training.
Mhm.
I went to the UFC Performance Institute. I was running some tests over there,
Mhm.
different things to understand my body as an athlete, better understand that. So
Mhm.
right now I'm just trying to experiment some things, but I would like to get in there maybe late November, early December.
Mhm.
Uh, After the fight, like, I want to get in there sooner, but after I went to the UFC PI, after running some tests, I was like, oh, I want to experiment some stuff now. Now I got a different insight on things,
Mhm.
just in general. So I was like, I want to experiment something. So I figured, like, it might be good just to experiment something for, like, a month and then get a book a fight. So I don't like to experiment during camp,
Mhm.
just see how it feels. And I feel like end of November, early December is a good time for him,
Mhm.
to get back in. So and I can't wait to get back into and showcase a better version of me, and then get the W, man. Show people what I can do.
Oh, 100%, man, 100%. And I'm pretty sure you will. I mean, like I said, you won that last fight, in my opinion, and then you're gonna win your next one. So,
Uh,
I like you said, and you were just in the UFC Performance Center, and like as a fan, like you see the UFC, they're just promoting it, like left and right, like they have this and this and that. But like from a fighter, like firsthand experience, um, what are some of the cool things that they do in there? They just they're like that you won't see anywhere else. Like it helps you as an athlete, it helps you as a fighter.
yeah. So like I've been there a bunch of times before I was in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Going in there and training. But now I actually have I could use the actual resources there. So before I knew about it, but I didn't think that much of it. I thought, well, it's a nice facility.
Mm-hmm.
Their cafe's good. They got a nice mat area and cage and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I'm able to use it all, I was like, man, this is crazy. Like they'll tell you like your body percent fat, like if you could go down in weight, up in weight. Nutrition, like as far as like what 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 are you missing in your diet, what do you need more of, calories, all that stuff. Your heart rate, they check that, how high your heart rate is, where it should be at, what kind of fighter you are, and all that cool stuff. The strength, they have strength and conditioning stuff, the physical therapy, that's awesome. uh and you get fed, bro. Like you get like free meals, so you can't complain about that.
There you go.
Yeah, supplements, all that stuff. They take care of you, and UFC's that's why they're the biggest promotion in the world for MMA.
Mm-hmm.
They really know how to take care of their athletes, and I don't have no complaints. So I'm excited to continue my future with them. So
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm just gonna get better being a part of that promotion.
Yeah, and it's like stuff you see in the movies, like everything you just explained. They're like, oh, like they see like what way you can go up at, go down with, like everything the smart way. And
Oh yeah.
I know you mentioned like earlier that you started like training jiu-jitsu and you saw T Ortiz and like all these fighters. So I'm guessing like you aren't starstruck when like you see like a big name just walk through those doors in the UFC PI, right?
Yeah, so like I don't really get starstruck seeing people. I look at people; they're just humans,
Mm-hmm.
and I know too. Even if like I'm a big fan of them, I try not to. I know they're just there to train. Like they're trying to get away too, so they don't. Sometimes they don't want to be left alone. I'll acknowledge them, so I understand that as well. Uh, just because like even me, like I'm not on that level yet, but like just fighting King of the Cage, like people come up to you, like or if you see them sometimes, or if they see me in public, like it's cool and all. Like it could be overwhelming sometimes, but I just try to say hi to everybody. So
Mm-hmm.
I understand that's that aspect of it. So like when I see them, I just try to let them be. Like I've seen Israel Adesanya there. Well, I don't know. I've seen a bunch of like top level, like high level fighters in there. So
Mm-hmm.
there's other UFC fighters that will tell me though they get starstruck. They'll take pictures and stuff. I don't really do that much. I've just never been. Maybe I should. I don't know. Maybe it's good for publicity. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just like I just go there, do my thing, and I know they're there to do their thing. So I don't want to take too much of their time.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but like you mentioned Adesanya, so UFC 253 is happening next month. So who do you got on that fight? Adesanya Costa. I know it's a hell of a fight. It's a 50-50
Yeah,
fight. So
that's a tough fight, bro.
yeah.
I don't know. It really boils down. I feel Acosta got the power.
Mm-hmm.
He has the power advantage in that, but Adesanya has the more the movement, the speed, the more precise technique when it comes to that fight. So how to lean, I'm gonna lean towards Adesanya. I told if Acosta's gonna do it, he needs to do it in the earlier rounds. I don't know if he could keep that powerful pace for 5 rounds, you know. And with Israel, I think he could go 5 rounds. But I think it's gonna be it could be a dogfight, man. So it's gonna be one of those things. It's gonna be interesting to see. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah. And one last thing, because like I don't want to take that much of your time.
No worries, no worries.
Yeah. So I know your heritage is Mexican, right? So you're Mexican, you're Hispanic American, and like
say that again.
Yeah,
Sorry,
so
you cut off a little bit.
Yeah, so you're an Hispanic American. You said both of your parents are from Mexico?
No, so my dad was born here. My mom, she was born here too. So she's first generation here. But yeah, both my parents are Mexican, and I just grew up around like the whole Mexican heritage thing. Going to Mexico, all the family parties straight Mexican, like speaking Spanish, like hardly any English and stuff. And I remember at a point in time, like I wasn't going to see my family as much. Not it was a bad thing. Just, you know, I was getting busy in my life. I wasn't using as much Spanish no more. And like I wasn't forgetting it, but like there was just like certain things. I was like, man, like my Spanish is all rusty. But then I started like just speaking it again, just getting really back into it, and just knowing like, you know, my heritage and all that stuff. And I think it's awesome to speak 2 languages and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm proud to be Mexican American. I was born in the United States, but you know, I'm Mexican. And so I always represent all the people over there in Mexico. And todo para la raza, man. That's how I always do it for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to see a fellow Hispanic American, you know, just reach to the top and fulfill their dreams. So, I mean, you're definitely an inspiration for me, especially for what I want to do. I want to get into covering the sports of MMA.
Nice.
Yeah. So hopefully get into one day, you know, working for ESPN. It's my first interview ever, so I'm sorry I'm a little rusty.
Yeah. Oh, you're doing good, man. You're doing good.
Yeah. So
there's other people that I've done that've been doing it a while, and they're they need a lot of work, but I thought you're doing good. This was your first one. Very good.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And like I said, thank you for giving me the chance. And yeah, man, that's all I have for today. So
are you Hispanic?
Yeah. So my family's from Honduras. So
okay, nice.
I was born here. I was born in New York. And yeah, I mean, like you said, it's awesome to learn 2 languages. My dad's always had this saying that like learning how to talk 2 languages is kind of like being
important,
people, right?
Oh yeah, I'm actually trying to learn Portuguese right now too. I just need to stay on it, you know.
Yeah.
And not bullshit. I need to just stay on it.
Yeah, I mean, but I think it should come natural though, right? Because like Spanish and Portuguese, there's some words are kind of similar. You just have to like
it's similar, or just the pronunciation. Because sometimes like when I try to speak it, I'll pronounce it more with the Spanish accent, but you need to just know how to use that Portuguese accent a little bit. So
yeah. I mean, have you ever gotten like those like awkward moments when you're just like trying to speak Portuguese and you just have like the other person just looking at you like baffled? They're like,
yeah, that happens. But that's how you learn, bro. You gotta just let get out of your comfort zone. Just speak it, even if you're gonna look like a fool. But that's how you really learn and develop confidence speaking it.
No doubt. And yeah, before we go though, do you want to plug in your social media, like just so like all the fans watching this can go and follow your accounts?
Yeah, so you can find me on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Kid Kvenbo, KIDKVEMBO. You can find me on YouTube as well. Give me a follow and watch me grow in the sport of MMA. So I'm going to make big moves and leave a mark in the sport. So check it out.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. And to everyone watching, see you next time.
Awesome, bro. Appreciate you.